Britain's awake. Britain wasn't awake. Men weren't awake.
And they are.
And they are.
Oh, well.
Most people in Britain don't give a shit about politics, from our background. If you start talking to them about politics, I'm not rich enough, I'm not poor enough for it to matter. Culture and identity, different story. Culture and identity. So that's what we want to focus on is culture and identity, but push them to politics and let them know that unless you actually vote, you're going to lose your culture and you're going to lose your identity because it's disappearing.
Tommy Robinson's optimistic view on Britain.
So looking at what gives you hope for Britain right now? I mean, it's those young men.
Yeah,
they're gathering. But what else?
What gives me hope is what I've seen in the last 24 months. I'm very optimistic.
Good.
Yeah, I am, yeah. Britain's awake. Yeah. Yeah, Britain's awake. Britain wasn't awake. Men weren't awake.
And they are.
And they are.
Oh, well.
They are.
Thank God.
They are. I get to see that by walking the streets. I remember everywhere, before our September 13th event, which last year, I remember in all the build-up interviews, I said, wait till you see what's going to happen here. This is going to be the biggest event this country's ever seen. Mm-hmm. And I knew that because everywhere, I mean, there's a chip shop on the outskirts of Luton, yeah? This is just an example.
Yeah. I'm
standing with my daughter, car pulls up. Tommy, we're coming September 13th, drives off, next car. Me and my whole family are coming September 13th, 3 cars in a row. I thought, we're in a village. We're just in a little village. I mean, like the whole country's about to descend on London on September 13th. So I knew something big was happening.
I see.
And the best thing with Elon Musk giving us back social media was the media can portray hooligans, thugs, all these images. 1 million people watched live online. Those 1 million people saw beautiful speeches, gospel bands from churches, a celebration. It was art. It was everything that Britain is put together in the most beautiful way. And then it's being condemned by the media. But the best thing is, I remember the Daily Mail on the first one. It was the first one, and the Daily Mail put thugs and hooligans march on London. I remember pulling it up as I was talking. I said, the Daily Mail article's been read by about 6,000 people. We've got 1 million people watching live. Mm-hmm. You're losing. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Your power's gone. Your media power, the monopoly you had, it's gone now. Yeah, you don't have the power any longer. You can't dictate who we are. You can't tell the public who we are. I'd put that at Elon Musk's feet as a level of gratitude to giving the public the ability to just watch themselves and make their own mind up.
What do you think? What would you tell young people they have? What is it they have to do to support the vision that you have?
I'd say that it's not just the vision I have.
The vision that is
for Britain
growing in.
Well, if we had pride,
the UK.
if we had pride and strength, we wouldn't let any of this happen in the last 30 years. Mm-hmm. Now, our goal, which we're working on now, which I think is my position. I keep trying to work out what my position is. I don't think it's in politics. I think now, Makerfield, did you watch the Makerfield by-election? Which is just where Restore, Reform went against each other and Andy Burnham won. Yeah, 56% voted. So 44% didn't vote. Now, Keir Starmer was elected off 9.7 million votes. 20 million didn't vote. That 20 million is us. When I say us, they're from my background, from the states like mine, who have been told they don't matter, they don't count. So whilst I don't want to be political, but I want to Unite the Kingdom, which is our Christian message, our British message, and I want to do a national tour. And I want that tour to go into the toughest working class estates in Britain. And I want to set up stalls and positions to register to vote. And over the next 3 years, hit those towns and hit those areas and give them back and captivate them, electrify them, give them back their identity and let them know that the battle for Britain is in 3 years. It's at the election, it's at the ballot box. And if we're going to lose the country forever unless you vote. So your voice does matter. Yeah? And I'm not telling you to vote for Reform, Restore, just vote. Right? Mm-hmm. Get registered, get political, get voting. Because if the 20 million voted, we wouldn't be in this mess. If all the people who thought the way we think, as in Makerfield, the most recent election, then Andy Burnham wouldn't have won. But apathy has resulted in us, the working class, thinking we don't matter and we don't have a voice. And unless we use that voice, things are going to get a whole lot worse. So my position is to try and hit these towns and cities. And literally, I think you have to do it for people.
Yeah, you have to get out there. You
have to get in and you have to register them. So we have to sit there with volunteers and get people registered, because most people, and do you know what it is? So with the Unite the Kingdom movement, most people in Britain don't give a shit about politics from our background. If you start talking to them about politics, I'm not rich enough, I'm not poor enough for it to matter. Culture and identity, different story. Culture and identity. So that's what we want to focus on is culture and identity, but push them to politics and let them know that unless you actually vote, you're going to lose your culture and you're going to lose your identity because it's disappearing. So that's what I think my position is over the next 3 years. It's going to be a mammoth task to travel this country, to hit the towns and cities. Probably a dangerous task as well because we need to let everyone know where we're going, when we're going. But I think that when I look at the voting pattern, we're going to concentrate on the major cities where it's close. So if the left are close to the right, we need to register 5,000 people, 10,000 people. That's what I think our position can be and should be, as well
strategic. You're going to be strategic.
Yeah. Well, it's just looking at what the Muslims have done. It's what they do with the Muslim vote.
Sure. Right.
They use their power as a community.
They're organised.
They're organised.
So we got to get organised.
Yeah, we need to get really organised. Mm-hmm. And then journalism, documentaries. I want to expand my team. Do you know what's crazy? I think we're very successful for what we do. We're a team of 5.
Oh, yeah.
5.
Right.
There's
well,
5
you
of
know
us.
what? You know each other. You're responsible to each other.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, we always put in the group RTL, which is respect, trust and loyalty. I formed that out of frustration and inability by any government or police or local council or the Islamic community or any community to deal with the radicalisation, the extremism, the grooming, the gangs, the drugs, the jihad, all these problems which seem to be stemming from one section of my town. We need the politicians summoned. We want the councillors. We want the people in charge of the children from social services on oath to give evidence about what they knew, who covered it up, and then we need prosecutions against those that were in power that facilitated and accommodated this rape of Britain. And I guess I take some flack for this at the same time by some of the new nationalists. If you line all my friends up that I love, many of them are not white. They're British to me. Mm-hmm. They love Britain. Most of us are the sons of my immigrants in Luton. And we had a great upbringing. And we all came together very well. But there was one section of the town that didn't. It just didn't. And it was the Islamic community. So I experienced the hostility, the inability to integrate or assimilate. And the way that this group, which were predominantly Pakistani, were just so different. Just as a kid, I saw it when I got to high school. I just saw it. I was like, they are so different to us. They don't play with us. They're not friends of us. They have their own playground. Like they separate themselves. So it's like you've tried to mix oil and water, and it just hasn't happened. That's not to say there weren't some great people I met in that community. I did, but a lot of the things I saw. My cousin was a victim of rape gangs. I saw. How old would he have been? Probably when I was 11. There was a famous murder in Luton where a father was with his son and they snapped the knife off in his head. The gentleman's name was Mark Sharp. His son was my age. I remember all these things vividly because I know a lot of his family left the town and fled the town after that. That was the final straw for them. There's been final straws for so many people in Luton. And my generation, there's no one left.
There's no one left.
There's no one left. Do you know if I went in my school group chat? We've all got a school group chat.
Yeah.
It's quite fun, yeah. It's all the kids from school.
Yeah.
No one lives in Luton. No one.
See where I'm from. Quite a few of the people that I went to high school with in Canada, in a very rural town, 2,000 people, Northern European town, but with a native, what do you call those, reserve in town. So there was some trouble between us because we didn't understand each other's values and cultures. So there was all that. But I would say that there were a few of us that left. And you say that everyone left.
Everyone's left.
Yeah, that's different.
There's no one left. There's no Lutonians really left in Luton. Lutonians is the local people. They've all moved out. So around Luton, you've got Luton here. And you've got all these surrounding new towns and villages that have been built. You've got one called Wixham's. Everyone calls it Little Luton. So everyone who was here has just gone north this way. And call it white flight. But it's not just white flight because it's everyone. Call it whatever you want to call it. Luton's been left to become a city of just total migration and Islamic.
Yeah.
Whilst everyone has run as far as they can. And it gets to a point where I see people, where I spoke to them 10 years ago, and I'd see him 10 years ago and said, I don't think you understand how different it is. And I didn't understand it. And as I said, I grew up thinking certain things in my mind. At school, violence was prevalent. you have to fight like people fought. And then when I moved, I remember I moved to this village and I went in the local gym and I was talking about my son and he was only this big. I said, well, when he gets his first punch in the nose, and there was a young lad in the gym, they're about 18, 19, they said, why will he get a punch in the nose? I said, when he goes to school. And they said, I've never seen anyone have a punch in the nose. I said, at your school, you've never seen anyone get a punch in the nose? And they said, no. And then I sort of think, okay. And then I realised that Luton is like his own little world. And then I realised that like it's not the right, what you think is right, or what you would have thought was right as a young man, and the way to deal with things as a young man isn't right. And that's because I was looking at everything through the lens of how I grew up or where I grew up. And then I see now my children have grown up in a beautiful place in comparison.
This is so refreshing to hear some optimism finally. Tommy Robinson is sharing with us with all of his experience, and he has been through a lot. He became an activist. He became a voice that people are listening to, and he is making things happen. And he shared with us of what it's going to take to get England back on track, and he's going to do it. And that is a very important lesson to take away from each one of us. Tommy Robinson did not plan to become who he has become. He became involved. He made something happen and made a difference, and he got a phenomenal following. He had so many criticism. He has been punished for the words that he has said, but his voice is now being heard internationally. There are two things that he reflected upon, and it's a very important concept. The word is apathy or complacency. Apathy and complacency is our biggest enemy. When we go into an apathetic state, or we're totally complacent and we just let things happen around us, things do fall apart. And that is exactly what happened in England. And it's what's happening here in America. When people just don't vote, people are just not involved, people are just complacent and apathetic. From a Jewish perspective, from a Torah perspective, Judaism doesn't give us any room for apathy or complacency. As a matter of fact, every day is considered a new day. When we wake up in the morning, the very first words that we say is, thank you, God, for giving me another day. And we take on the day, and we take on the tasks of that day, and we get involved, and we are accountable, because at the end of the day, we need to be accountable for how did we spend our day? What did we do purposeful today? What have we accomplished today? So every day is a stepping stone towards the next day. We have to continuously have progress, move forward. Just like when we climb a mountain, if we stop, we'll start rolling backwards. But if you keep on moving forward, you will reach its peak. And this is a very important lesson for us, as there are three types of people in the world. There are those that make things happen. There are those that watch things happen. There are those that don't even know that they happened. You ask yourself a question: am I going to be a spectator, or am I going to make things happen? Are you just going to stand by and watch, or are you going to make things happen? Tommy Robinson are one of those who makes things happen. Every single one of us has been given a gift by God to have been born now in this generation. We are not here just to exist. We're here to become a partner with God, to become a partner in creation, in trying to make this world a better place. No matter what country you're in, no matter where you're at, always remember you are God's ambassador to make this world a better place. Let's continue with the optimism, and let's get involved and make things happen. God bless you. God loves you.